Planning and thinking in advance is key to succeed in our lives. But if you can plan your next 5 moves ahead, that's a jackpot. And this time I'm telling you about one of my favorite books from 2010, 2020, Your Next 5 Moves. This is a fantastic book that helps you to think like a chess business grandmaster. It was written by my favorite YouTuber, Patrick Bet-David. He helped me to come back from the ashes because in 2016, I hit the bottom. You might be thinking, man, but you seem like a successful person in certain things, right? Unfortunately, in that moment, I was in my prime and I was on the top of the game. I was coming back from being in the finals of the Cisco Job Challenge, winning a competition, being in Cisco in San Jose, presenting my innovative ideas, and I lost the momentum, I lost the motion, I lost everything that identified me. Like a year and a half ago, I met this guy on YouTube by mistake, by chance, as you would like to say it. And his channel, Valuetainment, was key for me to realize that I was wasting my time and potential for a very long time. That's why when he said, I'm going to release a book about your next 5 moves, I went immediately to Amazon to get my own copy because I'm a strategist and I'm always thinking in the next steps, in the next move of what I need to do. So let me help you. What is more this book about? As I said in the beginning, this is a book of how to become a chess business grandmaster. Because chess grandmasters think 15 moves ahead. So if you're able to visualize that, you are awesome. But if you're at least able to think in 5 moves, believe me, things can change significantly and help you realize of who you are or what you would like to accomplish. Let's start by the first move. Master knowing yourself. Do you really know yourself? Do you really know what you want to be, who you want to be, what is the best of you? Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. That's the words from Aristotle. And trust me, this is the hardest point. As I said, I was lost for the last 2 years, or let's say 4 years, in fact. I was completely lost. I lost my momentum, I lost my track. And all the innovation, I was testing new waters, doing other things, but I never felt like I was the right person. What I was doing, it identified me. I lost who I was, an innovator, an entrepreneur, someone who wants to build a better place with technology and innovation. But I really lost myself. The book helps you to think and define who you want to be. Maybe you want to be an entrepreneur. What about that? Maybe you want to build your own company and bring the best to the world. But let's think about it a little bit deeper. This second concept is a little bit awkward. Not many people know about it. To be an intrapreneur. The first time that I heard this concept, it was in the Imperial College London. I was checking a PhD and they were speaking about being an intrapreneur. What does it mean to be an intrapreneur? An intrapreneur is to be a kind of entrepreneur inside of the organizations. And if you have a Gmail account, this is a product of an intrapreneurship because someone inside of Google thought on it and hey, he got equity and brought a new solution to all of us that we profit from it. The important about this move, in my opinion, is this one, the personal identity audit. How do you think the world views you? What comes to your mind? Which words do your friends, your family, anyone use to describe you? In my case, the people use the word talented. People overuse it in my opinion, but this is the word that people use to describe me as talented. The next one, how do you view yourself? This is crucial, my friends. You need to know how do you view yourself. If you see that you're a failure in your life, everyone will see you in that way. In my case, I see myself as an overworker and an innovative person because this is how I have been able to succeed and to become exactly what the people think, a talented person. I'm an overworker because I will do whatever is required to accomplish my goals. And the last one that I chose from this interesting survey, do you have a tendency of effort? Do you have a tendency of blaming others for your lack of effort or discipline? If yes, why? I'm going to repeat it again. Do you have a tendency of blaming others for your lack of effort or discipline? If yes, why? Most of the world constantly blames others for their failures or what didn't work in their lives. And this is something that we need to change. We are the only ones who can change our lives. It's me who decided to don't go further with the PhD. It's me who decided to take certain risks and invest more in other areas that I didn't or I shouldn't. It's me who decided to be here and not in another country where I should have been years ago. It's I, not someone else. Remember that. If you are a leader, if you're a business transformer, if you are anything, it's you. It's I, the one who decides, not anyone else. The only person who chooses the future is the person that you see in the mirror every day. So you should not blame anyone else. Let's go to the next move. Master the ability to reason. This one is a little bit more complex, but let me give you some hints about it. Processing issues effectively while taking responsibility for your own results is key. And that's why I'm telling you about blaming. That's why I highlighted that point. Because we need to accept responsibility. We would like to take responsibility when we succeed and we went to the best things in our lives. But when it's about something different, we don't like to take responsibility. And we need to take responsibility about both things. For example, in a couple of weeks, I'm going to start a new career as a software architect. My new manager was clear with me. Federico, if something goes not as expected with your teams, it's your own responsibility. You are the only one who is going to speak with the stakeholders, not anyone else. It's you, the one who will take all the responsibility. And when you are the person who succeeds, the best one is to share it with everyone because it's the success of everyone. But if something fails, it's your responsibility. But in this move, there is something important that Patrick highlights a lot. Investment, time, return. When you're going to take any decision, you need to think in 3 options. Sometimes I only thought in 1, and that's why I failed. And you need to analyze the investment, the time, and when you're going to return it. Because if you are not able to analyze these 3 things that can apply to anything in your life, things might not work as you would like, and maybe your decision will not be the best one. Sometimes you need to do some extra analysis, like maybe if you are doing the right investment, you're going to return it in 5 years, but based on the fact that you will have a new job in the next weeks, something that you didn't consider before. So investment is how much you're going to put to make it happen. Time is how much it's going to take. And finally, the return is when you're going to get it back. It's key and very important. Let's move to the move number 3. Master building the right team. I'm a person who is always about building teams. This, what I'm going to tell you, is not even a joke, but my teachers, when I was in the school, they always thought that I would be a gang leader. And why? Because I was always organizing the students in the school to identify what is the right person to crack certain joke, the right person to hate a certain teacher or to do certain things. But over the times, I went more farther from that. And in 2009, I tried to build my first team for Microsoft Imagine Code. And I have spent a lot of time writing teams, creating teams, identifying people that can help me and support me to accomplish greater goals together. Even right now, I have built my new team for the next success in the game. And trust me, there are many things to think because building right teams are crucial. And many times when you're talented and really talented, someone that has that international and is not an overworker, you tend to go to this one, solopreneur. Because if you're very smart, you know, I don't want to work with other people. They are not as good as me. They are lazy and so on and so on. And this is something that happens in the school and anywhere else. But if you want to really succeed in life, you need to break this myth and start saying, okay, guys, let's move away from this. I cannot be a solopreneur and I need to start taking actions. And I can tell you a very example from these days. I'm writing my first book. What is the book? About folklore. And it's, wait a moment. All these months I have heard you and you're only speaking about RPAs, about technology, about programming. What's going on with you, man? Folklore? What? And yeah, that's the point. I'm not an expert in this area. Well, I have become an expert because after 3 or 4 years of writing, I can consider myself an expert. But when I started, I was not that person. But in order to succeed and build momentum, I needed to hire someone else. I needed to write an artist who created the designs. I needed to hire a proofreader from the UK to start analyzing what can be improved and give the greatest and best impression, my fellows. I needed to break this myth because I could have done the designs, absolutely. Could I have learned better English and improved my skills? Absolutely. How long it will take me? 5 to 6 years? Really? This is important. Trust equals speed. So you need to be able to accept that the speed and trust is in this game. I needed to start contacting the embassies with the results that I have already booked, that I'm already on the last steps, and I started to build this trust and speed because they're constantly asking for feedback. What is going on? Are you progressing? What is the stage? And they are constantly tracking me. And this is why, if I would have gone to this way, nothing would have been moved during the last months. The next one, master a strategy to scale. After you have been able to build your right team, the next stage is to go up in the game. To be able to scale. But this is one of the hardest parts because it's about building momentum, that it becomes your best friend. Momentum is the thing that you need to use to the maximum and profit from it to the greatest extent. It needs to become your best friend forever. You don't need to make the mistakes that I made, that I went to Cisco, I came back, and I left the project, failed and died. You need to take the risk because what happens in those moments where you're in the top of the game, there is chaos. A lot of people will appear, some people will leave, and you will not know what to do. And that's what happened to me. There was a chaos, I didn't know what to do, and I constantly got out of control. When you are in that moment, you need to start, even since before, start building systems. And believe me, this is the most boring part. Everyone hates them, but really they are crucial. That's why you have project management and other areas that helps you to manage your projects, to create deadlines and to create an effective way because you need to monitor, track, and succeed in your game. And the last move, and perhaps my favorite one, to defeat Goliath. Goliath is that person that is there. You need to identify that person that you would like to defeat. It might be very big and very hard to accomplish, but it's possible. If you are in this moment and you would like to defeat a Goliath, you know that you are not going to sleep. In many cases, you are going to be overstressed in everything in your life. You might not have hobbies and a lot of things in your life. But believe me, This is where the most exciting things happen. When you're able to do in the first 4 moves and you're able to reach this one and you would like to become the very best, there are some things that you need to consider. The first one, identify your Goliath. In my case, hey, people sometimes offer, man, I would like to help you to build a very profitable Federico Navarrete in Google. There is one challenge. There is another Federico Navarrete from Mexico, who is a writer too, and he's very successful speaking about certain interesting topics about Mexico. My first goal, to defeat that guy from Google and to become the first result in Google. So there is a Goliath already in the list. The second one, you need to build a narrative and specialize on one field. In my case, about this, I specialize on storytelling. I'm an expert, and that's why I decided to write this book to bring about the best of El Salvador and start building this momentum. I know that this is a Goliath and a very hard Goliath to defeat, but I already identified one that I want to do. The third one, study the monsters and plan the next 7 extra steps. What is the monsters? The American mafia. And you say, well, I'm thinking about like a criminal. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not telling you to break your moral or break those things, but you need to think how to be a great seller and persuade people to join you in the game, because this is how the great successes happen. And finally, the most important in this one, constantly test yourself. I'm going to give you an example of something a little bit different, but it's about business. Thinking about the Fortune 500, those are the top 500 companies in the world. From when it was created in 1955, there are only 13 of those companies still until today. Wow. What happened with the rest, man? They are gone. And this is why you cannot oversleep. Because what happens with Goliath is that they oversleep. I'm already successful. No one is going to take my goal. I am already the best one in the game. They start to diversify, and then bam. And if you don't want to be like that Goliath, you need to constantly test yourself and your knowledge to become the very best. So believe me, these moves are crucial in your game. But before going further, what are your next 5 moves, my fellow? Tell me them. I hope I will encourage you to become the next chess business grandmaster. And if you would like to know more about these books, about what I love to read, and about other tricks, subscribe in this channel, share it with your friends, and let's keep building more agents of change. Until the next time, bye.